Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we are creating some high-end home decor DIYs using mostly Dollar Tree items. I hope you guys get tons of inspiration in today's video. Let's get started on our first project. Using these 5-gallon stir sticks from Walmart, you get 3 in a pack for $1. You're going to need 6 cut down to 13 inches and 2 cut down to 8.5 inches. The end pieces off of 2 of those, I cut about an inch off of the very end, and then I took my sandpaper and sanded all of those edges down smooth. Now you can cut these with your handheld miter box, which I have one of those listed in my Amazon store in my description box below if you're interested. I'm using a square so that I can line everything up, make sure it is straight, and each one of these are pushed together firmly. I'm going to take the 2 8.5-inch pieces and I'll be placing one at the top and the bottom. I measured about 1/2 inch from the bottom and the top to make a mark so I would know exactly where to place these. I applied wood glue and spread that out evenly. Then you can place it where your 1/2 inch mark is at the bottom part of your paint stick and then leave your 1/2 inch gap at the top. I placed a couple of books on there so that it would set and have firm pressure and all the glue would adhere. Once the glue has set up, you can stain this, paint it, whatever color you like or whatever stain you want. I'm going to do a very heavy white dry brush distressing, and I'm going to go over this entire front piece as well as those sides. So if you've never dry brushed before, you just dip your paintbrush into your paint and then wipe it off of the ends on a paper towel, and then you go over your piece. And I dry brushed it where it was mostly white and you just saw a little bit of that natural wood peek through. Now I'm going to take one of these Dollar Tree lock stickers as well as those 2 end pieces and give those a coat of black chalk paint. Now I found this gorgeous fabric in the Crafter Square section at Dollar Tree. It has some very beautiful designs on it. And I'm going to be using this metal chicken. Now yes, mine looks a little distraught because some hand soap spilled out of the bag all over it and it kind of just ruined the, I guess, galvanized paint look they had on there. But I'm just going to use this as a template, this project. So once I decided exactly which design I want to cut out, I'm going to place the metal chicken underneath my fabric, make sure everything's kind of lined up and everything's going to look good from the front side, and then I'm going to carefully flip that over, realign it so that I can take an extra fine tip Sharpie marker and trace this out on the back side of the fabric. Just take your time and carefully go around each nook and cranny on this chicken. Then I decided to go ahead and cut it out with a little bit of excess to make it more manageable as I'm cutting it. This does take a little bit of time, but if you're just really careful, take your time and twist the fabric around, you'll be able to cut out this gorgeous chicken design. Now once we have this cut out, this is so pretty. I am loving this so far. And our barn door has dried. We're going to attach our fabric onto the center of the barn door. I am using Mod Podge to do this and a very soft, dry brush to apply the Mod Podge. You want to apply an even layer everywhere that your fabric is going to be. And I find it's easier to center up your fabric and then pull half of it over, apply that, smooth it out, really press those edges down to make sure that it's going to adhere to the Mod Podge, and then lift the other side up and start in the center where you left the other side off. Press that down. Again, make sure you press those edges so everything seals. And even though this was a chalk paint that I painted it with, Mod Podge does leave a little bit of a different sheen. So I decided to go over the entire front of the piece except for the fabric. I did not go over the fabric with the Mod Podge. I did this so that it would all have one consistent sheen. Then we can add those 2 ends of those paint sticks as hinges on the side and the door lock. Now, if you can't find those stickers at Dollar Tree, you can use one of the tumbling tower pieces as a door handle. That would be just as cute. I'm going to attach all of these using hot glue. And if you want to hang this on the wall, you can just add a hanger using some jute rope on the back. I love how this project turned out, and there are so many gorgeous projects that you can create using this beautiful fabric from Dollar Tree. For our next project, we're going to use 2 of these rectangular chalkboard signs as well as the 2 chalkboard house signs from Dollar Tree. Remove the tags and hangers and staples from the back. Some of the staples are pretty easy to remove. Some of them I had to use my staple remover. I have this listed in my Amazon store in my description box below if you're interested in one of those. We're going to take the rectangular piece and attach it to the inside of the house piece with all the chalkboards facing the outside. I'm attaching this using Gorilla Wood glue in the center, spreading that out, and then I'll put a dot of hot glue on each end to hold it temporarily until that wood glue sets up. You want to make sure you keep everything straight as possible. We're going to add that one side, and then once that hot glue sets, we'll turn it around and add the other rectangular piece on that side in the same manner with the wood glue and hot glue. Then we can attach that final house piece on the end, and I just found that it was easier to flip it over and add all my glue at one time so that I can just slide that house piece up to the edge, press real firmly, and make sure everything stays straight. Wipe any excess glue off, and this is how it should be looking. Then I'm going to take some of these ruler sticks. You can get a pack of 10 at Lowe's for about $1. We're going to use 5 of those. I ended up cutting those down to about 8 1/4 inch long so that I can create the bottom for our toolbox we're making. Now, the 5 will be too many, so you're going to have to cut one of those pieces, trim it down. I'm attaching it temporarily using hot glue, and I'm making sure that I butt each one of those up next to the other one. When I get to that final piece, I'm going to flip it over and use my pencil and mark where I'm going to need to trim this down. So I used a utility knife and I scored it about 4 or 5 times, and then it was very easy to pop off, and then you can sand it down nice and smooth. I took the edge that I cut and made sure I placed that to the inside so the straight edge was on the outside. And since these pieces are wood, you could stain them, paint it whatever color you like. I'm going to dry brush white chalk paint around all of the wood parts, including about halfway down the inside of all 4 edges. And that's just in case you could see those inside pieces. I'm also going to take a dowel. This came in an assorted pack from Walmart, and I held that in the top corners of the houses so I could determine how far I needed to cut that down. Then I can place that in there using hot glue. This will be the handle for our toolbox. You want to press real firmly, and once the glue sets, dry brush over the handle to make it match. Now, to make it more secure, I do recommend that you take a staple gun and go around the outside edges of those paint sticks to give it a nice strong base. But this is how it's turning out. Now, if you're going to use the actual chalkboard signs to write on with chalk, you will need to season each one of these chalkboards. And to season that, all you need to do is take a piece of chalk and go over each one of these and kind of spread the chalk around and let it set a minute, and then you can wipe it off with a paper towel. This will keep it from, if you don't season it, the first time you write something on there, it will stay there forever. So it's just going to prevent it from staying there, and you'll be able to erase and draw and write whatever you want on there. So the possibilities with this little mini toolbox are endless, because you could take your Cricut and create decals, or you can add stickers, or you can write or draw on it, or you can leave it plain. I think it turned out beautiful, and there's so many different ways that you can decorate this piece. You guys let me know what you think. If you're new to my channel and you are enjoying today's projects, I would love for you to become part of our community by clicking on that subscribe button. To all my current subscribers, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you would like to visit me on my other social media accounts, all those links are in my description box below. I found this wood round sign from Dollar Tree. I have never seen these in my Dollar Tree before. Let me know if this is something new, if you have seen them in your Dollar Tree before. I'm going to create a stain using acrylic paint in the color Nutmeg, which was about a tablespoon, and then about 2 drops of burnt umber and a half a cup of water. And I'm going to shake that really well. I added the burnt umber because the nutmeg is a little too orange. I wanted to add a little bit more depth. I went over this entire piece, especially around those letters. You want to get in all those nooks and crannies of the letters with this stain mixture. So now that it's dry, it's kind of darkened up a little bit. I also did the back and the outside edges. I'm going to very carefully, using an artist paintbrush and black chalk paint, go over just the top part of the welcome word. And this is turning out so cute. I can't believe it was only $1.25. I'm going to reattach the hanger. I'm going to put a new hanger. You could leave the hanger that was already on there, but I didn't want to get stain or paint on it, so I just took it off, and I'm just adding another jute twine hanger just by folding it in half and feeding that loop through, and then knotting it at the end, gluing it, and cutting that excess off. I'm going to use some scrap greenery that I have in my stash. It came off of a bundle from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to overlap those in the center and attach them using floral wire. So I just put 3 pieces on each side, and you just want to wrap it really tight so everything will stay together. I'm also going to glue this down using some hot glue right in the center. And then I'm going to use some florals from Hobby Lobby. They're just some really beautiful bundles that you can find, and I always get mine when they're on sale, when they're either 40 or 50% off. I just laid out the placement that I wanted and glued those down. Then I'm going to create a bow using this buffalo check ribbon. I have this listed in my Amazon store in my description box below if you're interested. If you want to see the full tutorial, a more in-depth how to create this bow, I will leave a video link in my description box below on how to create this similar type of bow. It just gives you step-by-step instructions. And once I have that done, I'm going to glue it right in the center of the flowers. And I love how this turned out. It is so pretty and only cost a few dollars. Let me know what you think of project number 3. I am super excited about this project. If you have watched my channel for a while, then you have seen me create a couple of miniature cabinets like this one as well as this one. I will have links for each one of these videos to show you how I created these in my description box below if you are interested in seeing those. Today we're going to create a brand new miniature cabinet, and we're starting off by using 6 of these wood cubes with the drawer inserts from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to take that same stain that we used in our previous project, and I'm going to go over all of these pieces. So when we put our drawer inserts back in, we're going to put that design that's on there to the inside so we have the flat side to the outside of the drawer. I also made sure that I stained the insides of these. Now I'm going to attach 2 sets of 3 together using hot glue. You could also use wood glue if you don't have any stain there and you just have the bare wood. As you're gluing this, you want to make sure that you keep them flush to the top side as well as the inside, because not all of these boxes are the exact same size. So on that side, you want that to be flush on this side, and you'll see why in a minute when we put everything together. So I did stain the outside of the drawers, but not the inside of the drawers. Then we're going to place those in there, set them to the side. We're using one of these wood trays and one of these house signs from Dollar Tree. The house sign measures 4 5/8 across and 6.5 inches from top to bottom. And the tray measures a little bit more than 4 5/8 from side to side and 6 5/8 from top to bottom. We'll pop that back part of the house sign out, sand that down, and then I'm going to peel the sticker because I'm going to use the back part as the front, but I did sand the other part or the back part of that sign because I'm going to paint it as well. I'm going to stain the tray with the same stain as well as the frame for the house, all parts except for the inside part bottom of the tray. I'm using some of these quart paint stir sticks. You can get these from Lowe's. And I cut that down to get a straight edge and then hold that in place to make a mark so I'll know where to cut, and we can use this to cover up the handles on the inside of the tray. So you're going to use one of those quart paint stir sticks as well as one regular size craft stick. You'll cut 2 of each of those down, and they're going to fit perfectly inside this tray to cover up that handle. Then I'm going to use that same stain and stain those as well. While they're drying, I'm going to take some black chalk paint and paint the back part of our house sign, as well as very carefully paint the bottom inside part of the tray. And this will take 2 coats. Now that everything has dried, I can attach those craft sticks into the inside of the tray to cover up those handles. And this is how it should be looking once you get those in there. And I'm just going to hold them in place using hot glue, and I'll do the exact same thing on the other side. Make sure you press really firmly so that everything is secured in place. Then we can attach the backing to our house frame, and see here I painted the back side of that as well. Taking 6 of the tumbling tower pieces as well as 6 wood cubes, these come from Dollar Tree, I gave all of those a coat of black paint. Now they're going to be going on the bottom of our drawer inserts, and these will become the feet. So you want the front part of the tumbling tower piece and the side piece to be flush to the front and each side of the front of your drawer sets. And then place one in the back. And you'll do the exact same thing on the other side. So you have one on each side and one in the back, and make sure they're flush to the front and the sides. Then we'll take our tray and our house, and we're going to attach them to the drawer sets. You want the bottom of the tray to be flush with the bottom foot on one of the drawer sets, and also flush to the front because the tray itself is not as wide as those drawers, so you'll want to hold that in place and keep it flush to the front of the drawer set. Then we can attach the other side using hot glue, keeping it flush in those same areas just like we did the other side. And see, this is what I mean about the back is not as thick as those drawers, so you want to keep it flush to the front. Then we can add hot glue to the sides of the drawers and the top of that tray so we can add our house and keep it flush to the front and push those sides in to get all that glue to adhere. Now I wanted to create a shelf for the inside of the tray, so I'm going to take some of those wood cubes and glue those right into the back of the tray in the center where the bottom 2 drawers meet. And I ended up using 3 wood cubes on each side, and that will bring it flush to the front part of the tray. Then I'm going to take some of those paint stir sticks as well as some of those regular craft sticks, just like we covered the inside handles of the tray. I'm going to cut those down so we can create our shelf. You'll need 3 of the regular craft sticks. One of these is going to cover up the front of our shelf, and then 2 of the quart paint stir sticks. I'm going to give each one of these a coat of that brown stain, and then if any areas need to be touched up, I can go in and touch those areas up with the stain. Then I'm going to take those 6 wood cubes that we painted black and line them up into the center of each one of the drawers. Then I can attach each one using hot glue. I didn't measure them because these drawers are not exactly the same, so I just eyeballed it and tried to get them as centered as possible. Now I take my hair dryer, go in on the high setting, and try to remove all of those glue strands. Then we can attach our craft sticks to our wood cubes on the inside of the tray. I started off by going through the bottom first, add those 2 sticks with the hot glue, then I can add the other 2 sticks on the top part of those wood cubes. And then once everything is in place, I can take that last one and glue it to the wood cubes in the front to give it a nice finished look. And then this project is done. I absolutely love how this miniature cabinet turned out. It is so beautiful. I love the colors. I love the detail. You guys let me know what you think of this project. And if you have a favorite project out of today's video, please let me know in the comments down below. I always love to know which one is your favorite. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Please take care, and I will see you next time.